goes at this point, really. For Unstable's first pick, it is Greymane.
Yep. I like that pick. Very good hero. See what Warboys takes up here.
I'm expecting them to match the single target DPS. Be a wise decision. Zag is still up. Very good hero.
I would be surprised to take a Muradin here, actually. Deny a lot of that Greymane team fight potential.
It would really hamper Greymane's damage.
They go with the Zool, though, which is a weird pick for this map, because you're not going to see a lot of split pushing as it is a 2-lane map. I'm not sure I really like that pick.
But maybe Warboys has something up their sleeves. I know Zool pairs really well with Li Ming in particular. This could be their second pick.
Who is also a good hero on this map. So she can poke down the Immortal from afar, which is pretty good. Safe poke, even.
Very safe poke. And again, Zool, that guaranteed route, barring no cleanse, free damage almost with Li Ming's skill shots.
They go Sonya. Double frontline straight off the bat. Not afraid to show what they want to do.
I have to say I like the Sonya pick. Her single target DPS is pretty underrated on Battlefield of Eternity in general.
And she can sell those camps as well, which is really good. How is Unstable going to respond here? I like the Tyrael. Good sanctification with Greymane's can allow for a lot of damage potential. Or damage denial.
Tyrael and Greymane in particular just pair really well. They really feed off each other in terms of kits and synergy.
And there's a lot of tight spaces in the center of the map where he can get good holy grounds late game if they make it there. Do section off the other team. And then they go Li Ming. Li Ming, Greymane. Very strong. Li Ming pokes him down a little bit, Greymane finishes him off.
I like the Li Ming pick to deny it for Warboys as well. Kind of smart drafting on the side of Unstable.
I feel like maybe Warboys actually wanted that Tyrael pick, just judging by their first two picks, but I'm not too sure on that.
Warboys considering this ban here. They may be looking to take out a healer potentially, or another damage, possibly some wave clear. They do take out the Sylve. Really great hero on this map. Amplifies that immortal push.
And you know, the Wailing Arrow can stop the sanctification altogether too. So that's
Alright.
It's kind of bad for them that they banned it, but they're not interested in picking it up, so they just got rid of it entirely.
Maybe they do have something else in mind if they weren't considering the Sylvanas.
I would be surprised if Unstable here bans a tank, since they've already picked up Tyrael. Perhaps maybe not ETC, because Li Ming can't deny that, but Muradin. Yes.
Muradin, really good counter for Greymane. Nice spin.
Nice spin. What do you think they're going for, Warboys, here?
I don't know. It's hard to say. They have the wave clear. Triple front line.
What is this? What are they doing? What are they going for here? Syndragosa? The silence, maybe?
Syndragosa will disable structures, but it's at this point in time in the draft, it's hard to say really what Warboys is aiming for.
Yeah, they definitely need to pick up a range, and I can't really think of a hero that would really...
Lunara is still open.
Yeah.
Really great pairing with Zool.
Yeah, but at the same time, Lunar is also a really good pairing with Unstable's comp even more so with Ariel, because he's going to be able to just poke down Zool, Sonya, and Arthas all together.
They do take the Oreo, which could mean a Lunara pick as well.
Yeah, they pair so well together. And Lunara's just good on this map.
Normally, when you think of Tyrael, you think of melee heavy, no? The fact that they take Greymane, who is a ranged hero half the time, Lunara would just be quadruple ranged with Tyrael.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what Unstable takes here. They have 15 minutes left on the clock. 15 seconds, rather.
15 minutes? Yeah, I definitely like Lunara here. I think that he is the only pick. Oh, what?
They do take Thrall.
Thrall? Lunara, man.
I feel like they need the extra frontline / melee to really round out their team. I think Lunara would have been too much ranged for the Tyrael pick.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really sure how the Warboys are going to counter this. Maybe a second support, but even then, I'm not really sure.
Right now, they haven't drafted nearly as much damage as Unstable. They have Thrall, Li Ming, Greymane, all really great damage dealers.
That's actually a good pick. That's actually a good pick there.
Huh.
Because you got the blinds that can actually stop Greymane and Thrall's damage. So that means that they'll just have to get the poke from Li Ming.
I like Unstable's draft, but on the same side, the draft on Warboys is just... I can't quite wrap my head around it, but
I mean,
some part of me likes it. Yeah.
I get it, but I'm not sure if they could pull it off. Because that's kind of a dangerous comp, I want to say.
We'll have to see once we hop in this game here.
Just waiting for the players to ready up. We got 6 out of 10. You know what? I think I actually like Unstable's draft a bit more.
They do have so much damage drafted, and I'm
and
not entirely convinced Warboys can out-heal it.
It's just an easier comp to play, I think.
Yeah.
You dive together, you sank, you deny all their damage, you turn on them, you kill them, kill one person even. Li Ming gets the resets, you end it. You end the fight, you win it. Or on the other side, Warboys is all about like sustaining the fight as long as possible, right?
But on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, the sustain, maybe they're looking to stall out the damage on their Immortal while Sonya DPSs it down.
They can even stall out and let Zool split soak if they need to. So,
right, Zool does have great lane presence.
Thought you were going to a Tony the Tiger thing there. They're great.
They're great. Zool's great lane presence.
All right. Side of Unstable, we got Liquid playing Tyrael, Li Ming being played by Super Dave. We got Shiz playing Greymane, Mystic Shroud on Ariel, and Garube Theon on Thrall.
And on the red side, Warboys, we have Lily, played by Vega, Emerald W on Sonya, Maddie Havoc on Malfurion, the Betrayer on Zool, and Frost on Arthas.
Ooh, Frost on Arthas, I like that.
Great name synergy there. I like it.
I like it. Yeah, I'm definitely interested how Warboys are going to play that comp, because there's a lot of ways they can do it.
I think I like the idea of Sonya just staying on the Immortal and having that double healer, Arthas Zool frontline, stalling out the DPS on theirs.
Mhm.
But I feel like the damage on the side of Unstable is just overwhelming, really.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. It may just come down to how well the teams play, really.
Looks like we're just about here waiting on Shiz. Load in. Alright.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
Alright, looking at that top waterfall. Like Unstable's actually going to be lining up together. Or maybe a mid lane engagement.
They may be looking for the middle skirmish here.
Ooh, the matching mounts though. Look at that. All those emerald, all those lizards.
I like the synergy on the side of Unstable.
Yeah, Warboys is just going to do the 4-1 split straight off the bat. They don't want to engage anything here. That synergy is just phenomenal. Only their skins match too. Alright. Like people are just going to position around. Posture this middle map.
Both teams playing very carefully. Zool already on the bottom lane. They know they only need Zool. Here in this bottom.
And not much happening right now. Fade is taking on Zool, which makes sense. Their comp.
Lily potentially going for the Cloud Serpent build. We'll have to see how that plays out. Lily has really good harass potential with Cloud Serpent in particular.
Definitely. Ooh, Sonya's going in on Greymane here. He's going to get rooted by Malfurions and Tingling Roots. But he is going to get away. Just not enough damages early into the game.
Big
The
roots
orbs.
on Greymane.
The orbs from Li Ming are just chunking Warboys.
They can't afford to
Sonya!
take this hard engage.
Oh, Sonya went down. Gonna give those free Li Ming resets, but Zool is winning that bottom lane. Thrall's going to have to get out of there or tap or something before this immortal spawns.
We see Unstable posturing for the damage on their Warboys' immortal. Tyrael doing his best to zone out Warboys, but he does get taken down, unfortunately.
We'll throw all that damage on the immortal there. I'm a little bit more ahead.
Greymane jumping in, Root goes down, orbs coming out. Tons of damage coming down from both sides.
Ooh. Malf barely getting away from that Li Ming. Looks like Shiz on Greymane's actually just going to go for the immortal. Get the heals from Ariel from his damage.
Unstable is in the lead here. Again, they have so much damage.
They just
Really overwhelming Warboys.
just needed to give a little bit of tickle right there to get it to switch so that Warboys can't get that advantage.
And Warboys recognizes that it's just the first immortal, so they just want to get the shields down as much as possible here.
Zool's
They
gonna
know they
split off
can't
to
beat
soak.
up.
We're gonna get level 4 for Warboys first. Unstable will get it shortly after. We see Death Coil build from Arthas coming out. So he's gonna be have a little bit less damage than he would otherwise.
I shall march for Hell's gates.
Ooh, we do see repeated defense on Ariel. So she's gonna be really looking for those stuns with her Detainment Strike.
And it looks like both healers on the side of Warboys are going for a sort of damage build. Interesting.
Yeah, well, you know,
I'd like to see how this plays out.
Malfurion doesn't really ever need to take healing talents,
Right.
so
His
that's pretty
base
much
heal is just really good.
that's pretty much standard talents for him.
Hell, I must rest for a time.
And, you know, the Moonburn does help with the Immortal as well. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
Right, monsters. It does increase the damage to monsters. And immortals certainly are considered monsters.
So I was just gonna safely clear this lane here. Make those skeletons.
Unstable taking this top bruiser camp. Gates pushed in on the fort bottom lane. Thrall taking the root. Both teams just trying to hold out in each lane.
See the rotation from Sonya and Zool out, switching lanes. That Zool will be able to split push instead of Sonya.
Zool sniffs out the counter rotation and heads back to his fort, looking to get to safety. Unstable exerting their control over the map, taking the siege camp's top and the bruiser camp bottom. Or sorry, siege camp bottom as well.
Sea level 7 picked up for both teams about. Ooh. Li Ming's going for the Seeker build. Which is pretty typical for this map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really helps out the immortal DPS.
Whereas previously at level 4 she was showing the orb build. That's why I mentioned that. Which also makes sense on this map, getting those max range poke while the other team is defending their immortal.
We see a full Cloud Serpent build picked up by Lily.
Full Cloud Serpent. I like it. Ooh, an interesting town on Zool.
Double root here going down on Greymane. They're on the chase. They can't quite catch up to him. Tyrael
Arthur's
taking
getting
huge
chunked by
damage
Li
from the
Ming, and
backline.
Greymane's gonna go in. Almost get the kill. Ooh.
Arthur's just barely
So
escaping
close.
out.
Almost had that.
Sonya looks for the re-engage but gets stunned by Oriel.
Really good stun from Ariel there. But we do see Zool though pick up Weaken to increase the attack speed slow. So if Greymane or Thrall go in, he will actually have a significant impact on the fight.
Unstable is getting value bottom with that Merc camp that Warboys left unintended before getting down to nearly 0 HP.
And it's going to put them in a bad position for this Immortal.
So both teams just kind of trading damage here in the middle, not really overly committing.
They're not going to have Zool for this fight either, and I think Unstable realizes that, so they want to go in.
Greymane Morgan forms in,
Sonya.
nearly catches Sonya.
Oh,
Zool, unfortunately, not realizing that his team is backing out, gets picked.
going to give Unstable an entire half-level lead here. Means that they're likely going to get level 10 before Warboys does. And you know, Warboys can't really... Well, I guess they can split off here. But I feel like they might want to contest before Unstable got level 10. Because it's just hitting the shield a little bit. It's pretty much giving them a free level 10.
We see Thrall, Unstable, looking to push along with this Immortal. Or sorry, on the off lane, opposite to the Immortal. They may be looking for the gate to the keep here.
They may, yeah. Warboys just trying to burn that Immortal as fast as they can. Azul's already scouted this out, they know that they're coming. Arthas is backing. Azul's not actually going to be able to do much to stop this push though.
Unstable putting heavy pressure on this gate here in the bottom lane. Great defense though coming from Warboys. Arthas lands that root, manages to zone them out before they can get the gate. I do think they got the tower there.
They did get one tower, yes.
Yeah.
But not two. So they didn't get as much as they wanted. But it is something. That is going to put them a little bit ahead. Oh, we see pretty standard heroics here from the side of Unstable. We have the girl for the throat Greymane. So they're going to be going for that traditional Greymane that people know and love.
And Aegis and Saint really good at resetting aggro on their team. In particular, their backline with Leeming and Rhaegar. Thrall as well. They scout out Arthas here in the top lane.
Ooh, the Army of the Dead's being popped by Arthas.
Water Dragon coming down. Huge root
And the
from
Twilight Dream.
The Twilight Dream. Aegis comes down and Greymane saves him.
Oh, the Sunder.
Tyrael goes down. Huge damage from Tyrael's explosion.
It's going to be a 1 for none. For the side of Warboys. It's actually going to bring them back into this game.
So rotating up to this bottom 4, Li Ming as well. Just
Thinking about that flank.
managed to scout him out. They are pushing with the siege camp. The siege camp's about to fall. Huge orbs coming from Li Ming. Arthas still on the front line.
The root onto Ariel.
Big
jump from
spear coming
Sonya.
from Sonya.
And she's going
The
to go
Water
down.
Dragon.
Water
Off
Dragon.
cooldown once more.
The root on
Root
Greymane's
goes
going to
down on
solidify his
Greymane.
death.
That's him. He's dead.
The late sanctification.
Sanct
No value.
is not in time for Greymane, unfortunately. Unstable though does have that bottom siege camp pushing along that keep there. They are getting value while they stalled out that fight. Manages to take the gate along with it, I believe.
So Unstable's going to take that bruiser camp before they start going to the Immortal, because they know that they have more damage. So they know that they can burst it down before Warboys can.
Looks like they're trading out damage pretty evenly. Both teams kind of neck and neck right now. And Unstable does still have much more damage than Warboys. And so Warboys are looking for the defense right now. Thrall gets caught out. Huge orbs coming from Leeming.
The Twilight Dream. Tyrael, the Water Dragon.
Huge Water Dragon. The Sunder splits,
Thunder
but to
from
no
behind.
avail.
Ooh, so
Tyrael
much
getting
damage.
explosion damage, doing all he can to bring down Warboys, but Warboys are really playing this well, but they still have yet to answer this bottom bruiser camp.
Zula's going to go in on Li Ming, and the Detainment Strike's going to stun him.
Ooh, being Poison Nova goes out, hits Greymane, but
Or about zoning
just
Poison
not
Nova
quite
there.
enough.
Zonin's getting pretty low, though.
Bottom keep getting pushed
That's what
in
they
on
kill
the side
on
of
Zula.
Warboys.
Yeah, the pick on Zul's going to be significant because, you know, Warboys aren't going to be able to push this
Yeah.
Immortal as hard.
That was really hampens their pushing power.
That was really good for Unstable to get that pick there. But this keep on the bottom for Warboys,
All in all, it's not really that big of a win. I mean, all the ammo is drained from the bottom keep and tower. They're looking for this push, but without Zul just barely joining them here at the end, will it be enough to even get this fort?
I think that was actually a good trade for Unstable. Oh, and the missed
I
hook on
agree.
Sonya. Arthas is
Arthas
going
getting in the
in.
back line. Falling really low, but the double healer has got his back. Water Dragon goes down, Aegis gets popped. Sunder splits Sonya from the team, but they re-engage.
The Saint!
Saint
And the kill
goes
on
down,
Sonya.
huge.
The kill on Arthas. Lily.
Unstable, really bringing this
Zul.
back in. The cleanup
wipe?
has come. Greymane on Mouth's tail, looking to
It's an
bring
ace.
more damage.
Oh. Damn.
And the ace comes in, and they are going to immediately go for this bottom keep here.
They're going to
You
try
see
and
the
end here.
entire
I would
team's
bet.
dead. It's free.
Yeah, but they're coming up in about 10 seconds, so by the time they finish this keep, you know,
They've got to back out. All ults
Yeah.
are burned. And they're dipping. They know they can't take anything more than that.
Greymane is going to take their bruisers, though. And of course,
Is Warboys sniffing this out? Looks like they do manage to steal the bruiser camp.
Yeah, Thrall's root there really kept him from even contesting that bruiser camp, which is fine. Unstable didn't really want to mess with the fight there.
Zool kind of alone here in this top lane. I don't know if Unstable realizes this. Sonya jumps in with the spear, getting damage on Thrall. Huge root from Arthas.
Sonya going in, but
the
Saint.
Saint going down again.
Sonya!
Aegis gets spot, Poison Nova goes out. The Twilight Dream gets interrupted.
Ooh,
No, I
Li Ming
think it went out.
The Li Ming resets, man.
And Unstable
Still
just
staying in.
really showing their dominance with this damage. Big magic missile value out there with the Seeker.
And now we see 16 picked up here by Unstable. We got Mirror Ball going out. Tempest Fury, Holy Ground, Alpha Killer, and Reservoir of Hope. Alpha Killer's interesting. You don't really see Greymanes take that often.
I feel like Eager Wolf may have been the better choice here, but I feel like they realized they have just so much damage that he didn't even need it. He'll need the extra damage for that front line. Warboys kind of fighting a losing fight here and no bottom keep, down a talent tier.
Ooh, the Water
They
Dragon's
really have to make something happen. Aegis gets popped on Oriole. Huge damage coming down on Oriole, she falls. Holy Ground kind of keeping them away from Unstable. Big Sunder to disengage.
Just about killed Lily there. He's already back up to full from all the healing that they have in their Never Support comp. Greymane will get picked off. He overstayed his welcome a bit.
Warboys are really recognized the situation and managed to make something happen. They knew they had no bottom keep. They had to make something happen. And what do you know? They did.
They did, yeah. But they do have catapults going on the core right now. So that is something to keep in mind when they go into this engagement.
They do take up their 16 talent tier here now.
The full Cloud Serpent build from Lily. I like it.
There's just so much
Lunar Shower.
poke and harass.
Taken by
But Unstable's looking to still race this Immortal.
Ooh, Li Ming getting low.
Warboys really has to make up for this damage fast.
And I think they'll be able to do it too. Oh, maybe
Malf
not.
and Zool doing all they can to zone him, but it's not enough. Only 1,600
Those
away.
catapults on the core as well.
The light of the crystal
Warboys really needs to deal with those catapults and the Immortal.
I don't think they've recognized it just yet.
They do manage
Water
to get a
Dragon
pick on
goes out.
Malfurion.
But the stealth to disengage on Greymane is enough to reset it.
Zool's going in on Greymane now. 1v4.
Imposing Will manages to slow Zool, but I think he'll be able to make his way out. Blinds coming down from Lily, enough to disengage while they do all they can to stop this Immortal push.
Well, Li Ming's coming back up now, so what they really need to do is kill this Immortal and then deal with that bottom lane, because there is a large wave pushing in there, in their core.
Yeah. Malf does back. He has dealing with these catapults. Has the Moonburn to be able to clear this wave just enough. While Warboys kind of reconfigures here on this match.
Yeah, it looks like teams are just going to pick up the camps now while they wait for the next Immortal to spawn. Getting that soak, trying to be the first one to 20. Oh, actually, Onslaught looks like they're going to evade
kind of
this bruiser.
sniffs it out.
But they're
But
not
they haven't quite made it
quick
there in
enough.
time.
So we do see vulnerability on Zool's Bone Prison.
Should really help with bursting down a target, barring
Yeah.
no Sanct or Aegis.
Sonya going in on this Thrall who's split from his team.
Water Dragon goes down on Thrall. The Sunder to disengage. Thrall managing to scratch his way out of there, but the root goes down from Arthas. All of Bone Prison. Aegis gets popped, Sancti goes down, 2 ults burn just to save Brawl. Twilight Dream out, they get the pick on green main, Tyrael falling super low. He goes down. And
hits no one.
Warboys.
It's no one with his Archangel's Wrath there.
Oh.
Good split from Warboys.
Warboys are really showing their teamfight presence with this comp.
I keep wanting to say bad boys.
I mean, they're definitely not playing bad in these team fights. They're going to war.
Yeah,
2 down, they recognize it.
Yeah. Took the camp.
Straight to burning the Immortals. Good call on the side of Warboys.
Yeah, even though they have that lane pushing the keep, they actually turned that around really well, which is really very good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
every time.
The catapults will push the keep eventually, however.
Warboys decisively taking this Immortal. They recognized they had to make something happen again there. And those 2 picks really helped to secure this objective.
Mm-hmm. We will see Zul going back to deal with that Bruiser camp that was taken earlier. Because that will threaten core. We see Onslaught setting up a party bush here.
Oh. I don't think Warboys have realized it just yet. Zul is not there with them. A lot of patience, and there goes the engage.
The Sank! The
Big
kill on
Sanks
Arthas!
To mitigate damage. Resets coming down left and right from Li Ming. Here comes the cleanup. Greymane on the chase. And this will guarantee, or rather...
Oh! Oh!
Oh, 1 for 1.
1 for 1, they killed each other, wow. Honestly, I didn't see that coming.
They don't quite save the keep, but they do save the core damage, which may have happened had they not taken that team fight.
So they get 4 picks here, which means that Unstable is highly likely to go for the core. But I'm not sure if they can make it before they all respawn. No, it looks like they're opting out.
Yeah. It looks like they recognize they don't quite have enough time.
So they're gonna go for this keep wall, maybe?
They are poking down this top towers and gate.
You know, we do have Storm tier talents taken up here. We can see that Ariel's actually holding off on hers. She's thinking about whether she wants to go for that Aegis upgrade or probably the Shield of Hope, I think.
Kung Fu Hustle on Lilia as well is going to be a huge power spike in terms of their team fight. Water Dragon will be up in just so little downtime.
Mm-hmm. And the Cloud Serpents as well. And Healy, like her just whole kit. Fantastic talent. We do have the Twilight Dream upgrade on Altharian.
Here comes the Water Dragon. The Saint gets popped to save him. Sunder to make something happen. Twilight
Dream. Just cleaning up that game. Thrall's gonna bolt away but still dies to poison damage.
Li Ming doing all she can to poke down Warboys, but to no avail. Root goes down on Tyrael. That's it, and this is going to be a keep for Warboys.
At least, if not core.
At least. But it looks like they decide to go for the Immortals instead.
That is the safer play, because they still have this Bruiser camp pushing, and even with 2 heroes up, they can't contest it.
Mm-hmm. I would have liked to see them press the advantage, but them taking the safer play is nothing to disagree with.
Yeah, but at the same time, the whole other team's going to be up, so they will potentially have to deal with another fight.
Alright.
And if we could see probably a really good Sunder, a really good Sank here, you know, they could turn it all around right now and just go on their core.
They know they'll have a full shield Immortal if you're
Nearly full.
Nearly full. So they're looking to end with this immortal, potentially.
Looks like it's gonna be down to one more fight. It does have to go through this keep. So what could be a play is they might actually, well, they're not going to. I was going to say they might actually go down to the bottom lane and push the core.
But it looks like they opt to push with the mortal instead.
Yes.
Approaches the gates of heaven.
It really will all come down to this last team fight. The pressure is on for Unstable. They have to make something happen.
Tyrion's going to go in. The Holy Ground to separate Sonya.
Sunder goes down. Sonya in their back line.
The Greymane getting the kill on Malfurion. And on
Arthas goes
Arthas.
down Lily as well. Warboys getting...
A juke from Sonya. Just barely missing that orb. But she will go down.
They managed to kill off Warboys. So this immortal will get a little bit of core damage, but it's not enough to end the game.
No. And with that, Unstable can just push into the opposing team's core.
The death timers in this late game, 25 minutes in, it's just so much downtime. And I think Unstable recognizes the situation and starts to head towards at least...
Looks like they're actually going for the camp. I don't think they're going to go for the keep. They also choose the safe play.
Yeah. Really safe, controlled, you know, decision making coming from both teams. They don't want to take any unnecessary risks. They realize that deaths in the late game are so heavy. So they don't want to make any risky capitalizations.
But you know, Unstable's, all of their lanes are pushing too, thanks to Zool.
Right.
They're going to have to deal with those. Won't take them too long.
Warboys
also-
just cleaning up these camps here.
Yeah, that also gives Warboys, yeah.
Both teams just playing really safe. Trying to keep the lanes pushed out, taking the camps. Immortals back up in 26 seconds.
Yeah, you know, it's going to come down to that Immortal again.
It really will this time.
It's going to be whether they want to press the fight now, or if they want to race the Immortal. Looks
And
like
a team
Warboys
like
wants to go
here-
in. Ooh, the missed hook, but the bolt is baited out.
The bolt. Sunder goes down. Poison Nova as well. Water Dragon. The A just gets on Immortal on Tyrael to save him. Lot of ults burned in that fight there.
Yeah, 2 for 3 ults if you're not counting Disintegrate. That was in favor of Unstable. But at the same time, they were forced out, and so now that they have to play catch up with the Immortals' health.
Warboys in the lead in terms of immortal damage. They do have this pushing bottom.
Unstable backed out to clear.
Saint goes down. Big skirmish here in the middle lane. Huge Twilight Dream. Unstable, kind of getting super low.
Tournell, he's thinking about going in. Oh, he gets a
He
kill.
gets
Go
a
for the throat.
decisive go for the throat.
But Li Ming goes down too, so those resets aren't going to be as impactful.
Warboys getting super
The body block
low.
from Sonya on Arthas.
Unstable just decimating Warboys in this fight here.
At Holy Ground.
And it looks like they're just going to core to end it. They don't want to drag this game out. They have the Bruiser camp on the core. This is going to be GG here.
Plus Mouth does some crazy plays.
I'd like to see some crazy plays, but unfortunately we don't have Twilight Dream up.
Alright,
Now
that's
that is going to be game. Sunder goes down.
GG. Congratulations, Unstable.
Great play from Unstable. Both teams really neck and neck. Oh, Unstable did take core damage there at the end, 59%.
Blue
Nice gold there.
Great job from both sides.
Yeah. I like that.
That observer dough.
Look at that damage from Sonya. 71,000. That's so much damage.
I really like how Warboys played. But in the end, Unstable with the damage was just able to really outplay that Lily Water Dragon, the Twilight Dream. Wasn't enough to shut down.
It didn't seem like they had enough. They didn't hit enough people with the silence from Malfurion to actually have the impact on the fight. And you know, Onslaught or Unstable, they actually saw that during the fight, and they modified their sync so that they could deny all of the ultimate combos that was coming out from Warboys.
I feel like material sinks were kind of 50-50 that game. Some of them were a bit questionable, but half of them I feel like were really impactful and helped save the team in those really sticky team fights.
I agree.